Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Let me double check to see whether the stream is going well or no. Okay. Okay, this one. Hello, hello. Testing one more time. All right, nice. We are live. Then that's great. Let's first state the objective of this live stream. The objective is to configure OpenBSD on the Raspberry Pi. In the previous live stream, which I had 2 days ago, I managed to install OpenBSD on the Raspberry Pi. I have already created a video about it. I need to fine tune it a bit and then publish it. Probably I'm going to do it tomorrow. And yesterday also I have shared a great video created by one of the viewers of the channel. And the good thing about it is that it works with the offline situation. So if you don't have an Ethernet cable, then you can just follow that video. The one I have created is about, or assuming that you have actually active internet connection via cable. It's simpler, more straightforward, as long as you have the, let's say, right tools. And now I am going to install whatever that is needed. I think the first step would be to configure DuOS and all this kind of stuff. And then I'm going to install i3, install Firefox, testing the Firefox performance, or in general any browser performance, see how it works, especially the playback, and then see whether there's a possibility to do some sort of fine-tuning or no. I'm not assuming that I can do all of it today, but let's try it at least. And this mic is on the way because I have my laptop here and this goddamn mic is blocking the laptop screen. Anyway, so let's see what we are going to do first. So the first step is to configure DuOS. And it's been such a long time that I have not configured any OpenBSD installation from scratch. I have to go look at my notes. It's under Etsy. I have to copy example files and so on. So let's do it. So I'm going to copy examples DuOS to /etc, and we gotta configure that. So let's go here. And so, okay, so permit this, that's fine. And it should be persist also. We don't want permit persist, keep env will. Yeah, that's the case. And I'm going to add user mod -g will, then my user. Let me log out. Do as ls. Okay, now we got the do as configured. We don't have X, I assume, so there's no. Okay, actually we have X. The Y is not started in the beginning. Oh, the mouse is working as well. Nice. And I think it was control. Yes, put it enormous. So let's try it. Do as pkg add i3. Let me get the list of the packages. At some point, it's been like years that I want to create or share my dot files. Hello. And I really don't have time for it, but it's something that I want at some point to do it, so I can share it also. Then I don't have everything here. And a couple of people have been asking me for, I think for a while now, that hey, can you share your dot files, this and that. And I'm like, I really want to, but my dot files are absolutely mess. So I have basically, in case that you are interested on why also I don't share it, or I haven't shared it yet, is that I have a dot file for multiple operating systems. For OpenBSD, for FreeBSD, for Arch Linux, for Ubuntu or Debian based Linux distributions and so on. A bunch of documentations. I don't think I don't have any credentials or anything critical, maybe just a couple of IP addresses and that's it for the SSH, but that's it. There's no certificates, there's nothing that is critical or crucial. But it's just too much, and I have to kind of carve out the OpenBSD part and possibly in the future the FreeBSD part, split it, share it, make it public, clean it up. Now it's just a giant bash script. When you run it, it says, okay, for which one are you configuring? Also, I have it for Raspberry Pi, for Raspberry Pi OS. And then when I had the Pinebook, it also I have for Pinebook. So it's pretty massive. Let me see how many lines it is. It has 500 lines, 534 lines. And this is just a main that installs the packages. The whole configurations are in different places. So if I'm going to share it, I think people are going to have a hard time figuring out how it is. So the idea is to clean it up. It's been going on for years. And then after that, share it on GitHub, make it also completely open so people can either contribute to it, do a bunch of stuff, and maybe use it as a baseline to to basically do the OpenBSD configurations the way that they want it. So, and what I want is i3 lock. Wait, my dot file is not updated. There are a couple of packages I've seen. that's removed. Install packages, OpenBSD. There's no iterate gaps as far as I know. Let's try it. I have... crap. I thought I already updated this, or it was iterate. No, we don't have blocks. Okay, no, we don't have gaps. Yeah. Somehow, or I'm in the... Yes, you made it this time. Nice, nice. So it is funny because in my dot files I have actually updated last time when I updated my main machine from 7.8 to 7.9, and I thought I pushed the changes, but apparently I haven't. So some of the packages are not here reflected correctly, so we are gonna figure out. Let's do this. We do roofie, and what else are we are going to do? Of course we are going to do Vim, Perl, Python 3 Ruby, and then Git. I need also Firefox, and let's see what we got. This one, htop, neofetch, also let's try CMixer, then we can check the audio also whether it's working or not. Chromium. I'm not trying to basically get everything working. My main objective, or the first thing I'm going to do, is to try just install some packages, log into i3, and then do some checking on the performance wise and see how it's working. So I'm not going to install all of my packages. I'm going to install just some of them and also be able to do some testing. I think this should be fine for now. Of course, this I don't have to install everything in one shot. I can install it slowly. Which package is pulling Wayland? That's interesting. Who has dependency to Wayland? Probably the browser. Because i3 is running on Xorg, so we should not have any Wayland related stuff. So far it looks smooth. It's not like slow. At least to what I have experienced before with OpenBSD on different hardwares. I have I think an Asus machine. It's this, like, call it clamshell EEPC. And the graphic card is not supported by OpenBSD, is also not supported by the FreeBSD. I tried both of them and it's absolutely slow. Like literally when you open, then it just takes ages to open a single window. And this is so far to me is smooth. Who knows if it's good enough? Maybe one day even I can do a live stream from Raspberry Pi. It will be very interesting. I'm interested to know how this video encoding and decoding is supported. I don't assume it supports the hardware acceleration, but let's see. And we can maybe even try to play Counter-Strike on it. That would be an interesting experiment. I'm being super ambitious now, trying to do everything. Let me try to get my dot files in a micro SD card and then try to kind of speed up this situation. I actually have this in the micro SD card already. So let's be okay here. And this. God damn, it's not the. I thought it's a Git repository. Let's see. No, it is. Okay, nice. So I just need to update it and then I can pull most of it. Because I want to pull all these, to put these i3 configurations without typing all of them again, even though that I don't need everything technically. I just need a couple of things, but I want to have a base configurations already in place and not trying to figure out, oh okay, this one, oh Alacrity font is small, oh Alacrity font is this and that. So it's something to what? Did I change something? No. So the git pull is failed. I think it's saying the file mode has changed. So, hello. What about this one? Yeah, this is also hopeless. was taking a long time. Really hats off to the OpenBSD people who ported such a gigantic applications, Firefox, Chrome, and then they are still maintaining a huge diff for this stuff in the repository, meaning that every time that these applications get updated, then they have to go again through it, fix it, update all the patches and so on. I'm not sure whether everything or some stuff is pushed to the upstream, meaning the Firefox repository, or they just completely maintaining everything. From what I know, most of the time they try to push upstream, so then it makes their life easier, but it's not always the case. This micro SD card is, this USB stick is very slow. Let me see whether I can find the faster one. I'm not sure this is FAT formatted or is the NTFS. Let me check the other one. Okay, back up. Here. Hello. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to maybe do a git clone here, as long as thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Or what they say in Turkish, teşekkürler. If I didn't murder it and pronounce it right. Okay, this laptop lost the internet connection, or is because the package is downloading. Okay, skip. Reject anyway. This one is hopeless. Didn't work. This is just temporary. After that, I'm going to switch to i3. I just wanted to test the StartX and then it worked, so that's all. Now, do we have htop? Yes, neofetch. Nice. Yeah, it's slow. Not the fastest. But here it says we only using 100 meg of RAM. I found it a bit not accurate. Htop also is kind of not accurate from what I know. On OpenBSD htop is also not correct. But 100 is also too little and 700 is too much. I'm waiting for the Git clone to finish on the micro SD card, and then not micro SD card, on the USB stick, and then after that I am going to speed up the configurations a bit. But just to this I don't have. Do I have dbus? I think I didn't install dbus. If we have it even. Okay. let's at least to create this accession file. Search, export this, and exec i3. Is it gonna, how am I gonna quit this? Okay. So if I run, is it gonna go? No. How? Do we have that display this? This should be fine. Did I create the accession correctly? Let's see. We got it. chmod accession. And then or maybe I have to log out and log in again. Nope. Nope. Xinit RC, yeah. Yes, you're right. Let me. Then why do I have in accessions in my config files? I think that's because it's from the login manager. Let me check something. Okay, so let's put it xinit rc. And then try this. Okay. Okay, win. Okay, at least we got some i3 stuff going on, and this. Let's try to open Firefox, see how well it's gonna run. It's in the accession, but at least from what I have in my dot file, so I don't remember it. I can't answer your question. Read the terms, blah blah blah. Yeah, sure. Let's skip this setup. Come on, and that's not fast. I think it's already struggling a bit with the i3, so Plasma, technically, if the package is there, should be possible, but I'm not sure how well it's gonna even work. Well, pages are slowing down with Firefox. I think the GUI might not be so performant. and the git clone is stuck, man. At this point, I'm not sure, is it my internet or it's OpenBSD? I think it's the OpenBSD because at least the website is loading. Simple websites are fine, but the complicated ones, no. Let's, for example, let me try to open it again. Let's another one, Reddit OpenBSD. Let's see how that one is gonna work out. Yes, it's a lot of JavaScript bloat, definitely. Let's search, for example, OpenBSD. Yeah, the scrolling is not that good. Yeah, also let's do this one. So it would be a bit faster. Also, it depends on your machine, but generally OpenBSD experience is a bit slower than the other operating systems. And also see whether you have the SMT enabled or no. Otherwise, if you have it disabled, then technically you are working with half of your CPU cores. It is disabled on the any x86 machine by default. Yeah. Really? That's so cool. If they have DuckDuckGo on the custom. Yeah, it's too slow. The browser experience is slow. At least Firefox. DuckDuckGo. What's happening? Let's see. CPU is maxing out. on Firefox. The thing is that Firefox, to be honest, is... I don't want to talk poorly about it, but its quality has dropped in the last couple of years. Unfortunately, there's no better alternative at this point that is not Chrome based. I'm looking forward for this browser independent. I'm not sure whether anybody is aware of it, called Ladybird. It's completely independent. I'm really looking forward for that one to be at the alpha stage. It still is not at the alpha stage. And then I tried at some point in the very early days when it was still part of the Serenity OS to port it on OpenBSD, just to hack it to make it run. And it was kind of like, I managed to open the browser, but then that's it. After that, it was crashing. So I posted even like a screenshot of it on the community post, and that's it. Then I didn't continue afterwards. So let's validate it, see whether we get the custom logo when we search it or no. Hello, good evening. Okay, with the on Google Chromium on OpenBSD, nice. But okay, use the Firefox because of the synchronization. Yes, that's also one of the reasons I'm using it. Falcon is capable. Vivaldi is okay. The problem with Vivaldi is that it's not open source. It is not. And Falcon, I don't know. I haven't used it at all. Does it even exist on OpenBSD? Yeah, the browsing experience is not good. So let me just close it. Let's open the... What happened? Okay, Chromium. Somehow Firefox is running in the background. Okay, it's gone, or... Let me... use this. Dilo, yes, Dilo, I saw it, but I think it doesn't even support JavaScript. It's good for lightweight stuff, definitely, but I heard also somebody's working on it now. So let's see how it's gonna work out here. Or the best is to basically use links. The thing about links is that it's been under active development since dawn of time, and really hats off to whomever is maintaining this browser. It's like they kept it this way and they're still developing it. Checking man page, yes. For things, for other complicated stuff, it doesn't work. Yes, that's correct. At some point, Qt browser was a hype, but I'm not sure whether anybody now using it or no. Okay, we got now links. Yeah, this is also... Let me close this Extremis is too bright for my eyes. Okay, it's using swap. That's also not good, but it's very minor. Okay, let's check it. Also, now this any Chrome based stuff, they removed the forbidden to say plugins, the extension, to kind of get rid of these kind of things. So yeah. No, the experience is also not the best. I replace Linux with OpenBSD. Nice. I heard even NetSurf is running in frame buffer, or at least used to run in frame buffer as well, which is a very nice thing. But yeah, also no JavaScript. Let's put it on the even 360, see how it is. And we get ads or no? Bad Wolf, I have no idea about it. Yeah, nah, Linus Tech Tip, I don't know about him. His videos do not resonate with me so well. Since beginning, it's not something new, so. But I understand he's very popular, at least in the among a lot of people. Yeah. Is it even gonna play anything? Maybe we have to try to... yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so, so... Let me stop this. I'm going to maybe try testing the playback with a different approach. Do we have curl? I'm typing everything wrong, so where's this YTX? I'm trying to find the repository so I can basically run it. Come on. somehow the internet on the laptop that I'm looking up for stuff is not running. It's not working. Oh man, it's pain in the neck. I'm sorry to ask, but where is Chimera? It's the first time I'm hearing it. Let me Google it. Where is it? Okay, it's a Linux distribution. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Oh boy. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy that that's taking a long time to open, and then now it looks better, but when I opened YouTube it was like absolutely going crazy. But you can see it kind of like looks like it's hanging. Oh no, don't retire Power PC. Big Endian 32-bit Power PC and 64 with Power platforms. I think 32 Power PC is the one that's shipped usually with the old Mac devices before they switched to Intel. It's up-to-date web browser and things are looking to regress further. WebKit having adopted this. Maintainers so far have been working keeping the latest build. Okay, it's understandable. So the status quo. Oh, it's built from scratch. So is it like a fully independent? Shall exist complex carry blah blah blah. Was that Google good for? I saw people were using it, but is it good? Well, I don't think Google is good for anything nowadays, or any search engine for that matter. They are all absolutely bad. And Google has been like removing bunch of stuff also out of the search engine, from what I know. Like these specific symbols and stuff that people used to use to pull certain things. For example, let's say if you are searching for a specific type of files or open directories and stuff, I think they deleted all those kind of stuff, so they are not supporting it. And now they also slapped an AI on it. If you search anything, it just brings up a bunch of not related stuff. Same with any other search engines, don't get me wrong. I think DuckDuckGo is no better. The thing is that we don't have a very truly independent search engines. There's this Brave stuff, but that's also using quite a bit of AI. And everything else is pulling from one of the other search engines, either it's Google or it's Bing or whatever. I miss the good old days that you could use the search engines reliably and also do the reverse photo search. They retired all those stuff under the name of making things safer, privacy, blah blah blah. And maybe I should use Yandex. Well, a state-owned search engine. Chimera is basically BSD with Linux kernel. Nice, nice. Crocs user, what do you mean by it? Installaton is not expected as much I want. That's pretty good, I think. I mean, they claim to be independent at least. Large part that's breaking existing status quo. The tooling is fresh, packaging is brand new, and is not built using any distribution as base. It is a complexity. In terms of hardware configurations, from old hardware to current with this. Okay, general overview. This is over Python, why this is over Void. This. Do that as the time this was written. You fully approve the console system unit to system search, do necessary their implementation. So okay, so they don't also use systemd. I still haven't fully grasped how it differs from Alpine or Void Linux. This part I don't like. I think when somebody installs any operating system, if I understand it correctly, so it says it's a stateless configurations package is only installing in a /user which is never changed by the user, and all the other data potentially being removable. Yeah, I'm having trouble with this statement. I think users should be able to do whatever they want, and nobody should dictate whether I need this or that, or I can delete or no. If I want to delete everything, I should be able to do so. Should also give some accountability to the user, that if they mess up things, they have to own to it. Produce from the Word file. Package don't utilize intermediate pre-post, blah blah blah. Flexible for this concept been driven, for example, immutable distribution. Yeah, immutable distribution is not my cup of tea. But this is not immutable from what they claim. It's just made the user kind of stateless. State art package tooling regular blah 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 this. Okay, security hardened tool chain. That's good. So what tool chain do they use if they don't use GNU stuff? LLVM Clang. Okay, so they don't use GCC. They use Moose. Okay. And then they are using FreeBSD core utils. Okay. It sounds interesting. Let's see how. I'm not sure how long they've been around, because it's the first time I'm hearing the name of it. Let me catch up a bit with the chat. Okay, I haven't had any issues. Works perfectly fine for me. Nice, nice. I got tempted to maybe give it a try on one of my old machines, see how it's gonna work out, especially since at least they have more supports for the legacy hardware. I have to see from the download page. Q went for search. I heard about it. I tried a couple of times. It was not bad. Yes, I think it's also another option. Let's use Alpine APK package for how it be independent. Okay. Crux distro Gentoo 2. Nothing against Gentoo. I just, at least I never tried Gentoo. Okay, never ever I tried Gentoo. Historically, from what I know, you have to compile everything, and I'm like, maybe I'm not so keen on it. Also, somebody, I think, in one of the live streams said you don't need to compile everything, but then if you install everything, you don't get the best or the most optimized outcome out of it. You can install also already the binaries. Okay, so they got PowerPC, they got PowerPC 64, RISC 5. Okay. And what we got? Okay, they don't support 32-bit architecture, Intel, which is fine also. Live Genome Plasma. I think this is ARM64, RPI Raspberry Pi. Okay. They also support the Raspberry Pi stuff. Nice. I mean, at least they put some effort. Seems not so bad so far. The thing about the different Linux distribution is that, okay, so they started 2021. Nice. So it's 5 years. The thing about the Linux distribution is that if they do not have a proper or a solid team, and if it's just completely, let's say, a small team, then after a while they may just kind of like fade away, or be discontinued, worse. And this is unfortunately the state of a lot of like distributions. I wish them success. Looks like that they have some noble cause to do things differently, and that's nice. And it's also, I think they decided not to use any GNU stuff. Everything is using different alternatives. Something I don't understand is, I like OpenBSD, I like FreeBSD, but I kind of don't get some stuff that people have against GNU. I think one time I had this talk with somebody else as well. I believe the licensing of GNU and GPL stuff works better in general against the abuse of the big companies. It's not so permissive, so whomever forks it, they have to technically, I mean, I can fork GNU and then create some proprietary stuff out of it. Still, if it doesn't go viral, nobody will understand it, but still you have this legal weight there that, hey, if things break out and people figure out, then they have to actually release things. So I really don't understand some issues that people have against the GNU utils and things like that. The other argument from the coding part that I heard is that is kind of they are bloated, or they are not very clean, the code base. That I can understand it, but the licensing part, not really. Gentoo is still Gentoo. Okay, more like a Slackware 2. Yeah. A Slackware is one of the most OG Linux distribution. They still maintaining it. That's a funny thing. I think they're still maintaining it, and then there should be a page that they just keep posting the latest change logs. But I'm not sure how many people are involved in the Slackware project nowadays. People are saying it's just still one person maintaining and only just few people using it. But you see, it's the oldest. Man, this browser is super slow. I do use Qvent as my default search engine for years now. I had a nice period with German MetaGer, but they decided to go another way. Okay, I give it a try, definitely. Okay, it's been around for a couple of years, definitely daily drivable, nice. Version 3 of APK Alpine is still on the V2. T2 Linux. Yeah. T2. That's I watch, I think, most of the live stream of Rene Rebe. He's the T2 actually maintainer or a creator, one of the creators, I think. No, I think he's the creator, and then he was a co kind of like creator of the Rock Linux. I watched his live stream, and then it's very interesting and also entertaining. A lot of the stuff that he says about being the state of software is fully true, and I really agree with him. I find it also a bit entertaining. I think he has a good chance of actually breaking big in terms of, okay, this is the Linux distribution I'm maintaining, and he's doing live stream every day almost, I think, for hours, like sometimes for 8-9 hours, man. That's like absolutely crazy work. So a lot of respect for him, for whatever he's doing, a lot of respect. And he's like doing this what he's doing, this bisect stuff in the Linux kernel to figure out the drivers and things that's been deleted, and then he patch it back, like doing a lot of stuff. And okay, they got also ARM Slackware. I think they also have a YouTube channel for this ARM Slackware stuff that sometimes they show things. Yeah, you see, there's a YouTube channel for it. I'm not. Oh, maybe I shouldn't open that. GPL is better for the word. Me personally, I release everything as BSD MIT licensed. I do believe also GPL is better for the words. And or maybe I just got brainwashed too much with this Richard Stallman and stuff. Because when I started using Linux in the very beginning, then I got to know about Richard Stallman, his philosophy and stuff, and then I read a lot about it. I still have his books, and I have 2 of his physical books somewhere. And then I read it, and then I realized, okay, it makes sense to me. And afterwards I switched to, or I started using BSD. So by heart, I'm a Linux user. And then after that, I learned more about the different BSDs. But the thing about Linux, at least my personal complaint, is that it's becoming a bit too bloated. And instead of focusing on the stability, they are focusing on experiments, like adding new things, just keep adding, like changing this, I don't know, whatever subsystem, like changing the audio. Okay, let's switch to the pipe wire. Pulse is not good anymore. And then it took goddamn so many years to have this pulse audio stable, and then they decided that maybe it's not the best one, so let's switch to the pipe wire. Same also happened, let's say, with the other things. Wayland, Xorg, arguments. And yeah, so this is stuff I'm not really liking it with this direction, but it's not the kernel. Kernel also is going a bit odd nowadays. They delete a lot of legacy stuff, legacy drivers also, and I think this is one of the frustration from the T2 founder, that hey, why just you delete something that works perfectly? Why you deleted it? Not only is Slackware maintained, the current branch is pretty up to date, and there are nice third-party repos. Nice. The thing is that it's maintained, yeah. It's just like they doing their own thing quietly, and then you don't see a hype about it. FreeBSD is good to run on the media server, good for Wi-Fi, but not good for daily drive. BSD has a place, but everyone has to push the boundary. Yes. Servers installing a Slackware for my servers. Nice. Wow, 2001. Man, we have some OGs in the chat. 2001. I was bragging that, oh man, I got like into the Linux world in 2004, 2005, because one of my classmates mentioned about Linux, and then I got like curious, and then went for a hunt, and then after that, I got hooked up on it, and now we hear like people, they're doing server installing us like we're in 2001. That's crazy. I prefer copyleft too. You're not brainwashed. Yeah, thanks. I think the strength of the OpenBSD is really security, simplicity, and great documentation. Is also the code base is relatively clean, but as a really long, like somebody who is really, I learned a lot with the OpenBSD, right? But when it comes to the performance, it's not the best operating system out there. It's also lacking a couple of packages, these that, but it's really, I really liked it because I learned a lot with it, and then it reminds me of the good times, old times of Linux, if that makes sense for you. So that's why I decided to just continue using it. Not daily driver at this point, but I log into it, I play around still, and then I have a bunch of also like scripts and stuff like that. So in that sense, I really like it. But for example, let's say I'm a software developer, right? And then I want to use a bloated IDE like IntelliJ. I want to do some coding in Kotlin or Java and so on. I tried to make it work with the OpenBSD, but then you open one file, you start typing the file, and then the IntelliJ is not optimized for it, and it's like being too slow, and sometimes even it crashes and so on. So this stuff still needs to be worked on. I know Vim exists, but try to write Java code. Java also gets a lot of hate, I understand it, but I do it for my profession. So if you try to write the Java code in Vim, then you will see that it's such a verbose language, and then you want to write something or import something with Vim, it's like completely out of question. Linux runs on cloud, so big tech is all over it. They drive. Yes, they do it. Most of the, I think, commits that nowadays are coming from the big tech. They are not coming from the individuals anymore. At least this is what I know. So they kind of like driving the development of it, and then Linus Torvalds is there just to approve the pull request. or the patches, not pull requests. I approves the patches, and then other people maintain it. Again, I'm not taking heat on it. It's like at some point you also accept that he got involved in this project for a long time. He is kind of also getting aged, so I can expect him to start coding. I think he hasn't been coding for a long time already. Yes, OSS. I remember OSS. Yes, also, and then Pulse. Yes, exactly. That's also that's my kind of like my journey, more or less. But OSS, I think when I started using, it started to, after a while, to fade away. But yeah, I remember OSS as well. Let me take this one here so I can read the chats better. Pulse audio was the most problematic for me. So many issues and constant search for the hidden options. Yes, I was not happy initially also with it. I think it took a long time to be as stable. First OpenBSD version 2.6. Unofficial ISO somewhere. Those were the times when there was only a small ISO and sets not complete ISO. Wow, 2.6. When was it released? 2.6 in 90s? You got me curious. 1999. Wow. Holy crap. Can you check someone making a homemade OS from scratch for microcontrollers and Raspberry Pi 3 as ASR computing? Let me check it. It's interesting. Yes, every OS has a place. I fully agree. I see only the first thing pops up about it is the TikTok page. Okay, ASR computing. But is it open source, or because I did not see a okay, let me check it. I only find a post on the Reddit and then like a TikTok channel about this ASR computing. I was looking forward to find a Git repository or maybe some small page that describes some stuff, but okay, the person is in college Spend 7. There's this in the. I'm reading from the Reddit posts, like 7-8 months. He said if Terry Davis could do it, why can't I? Okay. Going insane was giving up, so couldn't change the projects already registered, so I thought using my as the base, building a desktop environment on it. The unique thing about my OS is supposed that the story mode or the narrative driven feature. Well, I couldn't find much. Maybe even this is the wrong page. You can't compete with Terry Davis. You can't. Anybody who thinks if Terry Davis can do, I can do, I think that's doomed to have a bad ending. That guy had divine intellect. Every operating system. Okay, so I read this. Triplex. Okay, let me search it. Hopefully it doesn't bring something that I end up regretting searching it. Triplex. Okay, it's a legitimate operating system. Okay, there's so many operating systems out there. Okay. And retro style with modern components. Okay, they got even a Spark architecture. Previously this support now completely removed. Let's see how active is it. So who said it's using based on this? How's your experience, like the driver supports and so on? Are you happy with it, or and also the performance? It seems like let me see, is it a one-man project or there are more people beyond it? At least from what I've seen, it's one person started it. And not officially old. It's that's the wrong way to articulate it. You can say I'm a walking legend. Okay, installing OpenBSD on Raspberry Pi as a DHCP server headless with a Wi-Fi hotspot, and that's my fun. Okay, on Insta, okay, TikTok for what man page were for us. I mean, it's true. I at least expected again, maybe I don't understand it, but at least I expected a Git page to just have a project description, that's it. But if somebody is doing it on TikTok and Instagram, okay, that's also one way of doing it. Is it my cup of tea? No. Okay, it's not open source. He's planning to release it. Okay, nice. But for the microcontroller, the thing is that if you go for the microcontroller operating system, then it has it's very limited. It's very limited. I have this also ebook reader, which is also based on this. I'm not sure whether I'm typing it right or no. I think my the spelling, yeah. I have this one, and then they have also it's based on it's a microcontroller underneath. I flashed the custom firmware and it's absolutely, I love it. I have it for 6 months so far. Working great. Battery life is like for eternity. You just charge it once and then use it forever. So if they target a specific, let's say if the person targets a specific use case, then it's going to be well. But it would be a good experiment nonetheless for learning from the microcontrollers and so on. I still use man pages as I avoid the web pages like plague. I think you are doing the right thing. OpenBSD man pages are readable and they are not bloat, but they are comprehensive at the same time and understandable. If I'm looking at the topic from a perspective that I don't know much about it, I understand. But as much as I love GNU, their man pages are really not good. You just get lost. Still too modern. I wish to stream over telnet. Well, that's also, if it was a way to stream over console, that would be interesting. Like literally ASCII streaming. That would be very interesting. I think maybe somebody has to create that, so then people over telnet can watch the ASCII stuff moving. Okay, Triplix is a one-man show project but still built on this. Successor of the Open Solaris. Okay. Unix on OS Solaris, Open Solaris, yes, and then so it claims direct descent from the ATT Unix. Okay. Don't run it. And I got a lot of suggestion. Omni was, that's also, it just like this chat in the stream, it just teaches me that how I am also not educated about this stuff. There are way more things to discover and to learn from. I just know about the mainstream stuff, like OpenBSD. I mean, by knowing, meaning that I just heard about what OpenBSD, FreeBSD, stuff like that. That's it. The others, I think also in the past there was a time that somebody took this. What was it? This, I forgot the name. For the Xenu, yeah, Apple kernel or something, Xenu, and then they made it. They made ISO image out of it, but I think those stuff are not really working or nobody maintaining. It is doable. There was, or maybe still is a telnet server. Streams the store war as ASCII. Wow, that's interesting. The only thing I knew was that this movie Matrix was also available as in ASCII form in the one of the torrent stuff, and people, it was the one of the OG torrenting. What about the live streaming installing Windows? Oh no, I don't think I have much of interest about the Windows 11. Best I can do is Windows XP. That's it. After that, you have to excuse me, I don't like it. I mean, Windows XP I also like it just because of the nostalgia purposes. In fact, I have it in one of my old ThinkPad installed because I'm playing retro games on it once in a while. Maybe I can even one day stream it, but it would be probably on Twitch, not over this channel. Project Silicon for the UFI for Android phone. I put Linux on it and love it. It's a small community and you try once and you love it, but the problem is that it doesn't support BSD, only Linux and Windows works. So it runs natively, or still, I mean, we have for sure these Android phones, most of them are ARM hardware, so we should have okay. Darwin, yes. Thanks for mentioning. Yeah, it was Darwin. There's also the Dragonfly BSD. I think Dragonfly BSD is a fork of one of the fork of the free BSDs, but the early version of the free BSD. Not Dragon. Fly BSD. The browser experience is really not good on this Raspberry Pi. Yes, it's a fork of the FreeBSD 7.8. Yes. Okay. I haven't tried it. I tried Nomad BSD once. I liked it. The problem with it was that once I updated the packages, it kind of, some parts of it got broken. It's also not very under active development from what I understood. It is still based on the FreeBSD 14 or 14.2 or something like that. They haven't updated it. I hope they continue it because they brought quite a lot of good things to the FreeBSD by proxy. Windows 98 and Red Hat, that was what I did in 97 dual boot. The first Red Hat that I tried was Red Hat 9, and then after that I think they kind of went to they split it to the Red Hat Enterprise, and then they created this Fedora called, I think initially they used to call it Fedora Core or something, and it was until like I think 2-3 versions it was really identical to Red Hat Enterprise. Ghost BSD, hardened BSD, Nomad is more like less. Yes, you can still install it. I installed it on the actual hard drive. I liked it actually, it was pretty solid. And it had like not much of the setup kind of like complications. It was very solid. But when I updated it, then it kind of like, okay. Because since underneath is FreeBSD, then I got the prompt, okay, this is a EOL and bunch of things. And then I said, okay, can I try to migrate to the FreeBSD from Nomad? And then I did, and then it broke a bunch of things. It's my fault, it's not these guys. But you see, they haven't updated the project in 2 years. I hope they continue. Let me see whether we find their Git repository to see whether it's active or not. Ghost BSD, yes. I haven't tried Ghost, so it's on my to-do list. But before that, I'm going to try NetBSD. I have a plan for it. Okay, it runs natively, uses the project Mu as a base for it, and runs Matrix server. So Android. Oh no. No, that's out of my league. I don't think I can go that direction. If it requires also wiring things because the screen is not showing and stuff, then it's really not my expertise. Let me just copy the name of the project so I can have it and then check it. Maybe I can try at least to install Linux on one of my okay, NetBSD is without the trick. Okay, so Hyperbola Linux is porting everything over to the OpenBSD kernel, so it will be Hyperbola BSD soon. Really? What is their beef of not using Linux kernel? Hyperbola. Okay. I probably should have typed Linux afterwards. Yeah, it was Fedora Core until version 5 back in those days. The most user-friendly distro was probably Mandrake. Yes, I used Mandrake. It was the first Linux distribution I used. I think it was either Mandrake 9.2 or 9.3. It came with 4 CDs. And I spent the almost like a week, let's say, to just find the Linux. When I heard first about it, I went to this shop, that shop. It was a public holiday. It was like a long public holiday. And then I tried to figure out, to find. Okay, then I went to this shop, that shop. Okay, do you have Linux? Do you have Linux? Nobody even heard about it. And then one guy said, yes, I have. And then he gave me this Mandrake CDs. It was not like the original ones. It was just like downloaded it. and then put in the aftermarket CDs, and then they slapped the logo and stuff on it, and it had 4 CDs. And then I think the 4th CD was some utilities stuff. I installed it on my Pentium 3 computers back then. It was very interesting, and I think it was a KD3, if I'm not mistaken. Our final goal is the full BSD. Do they have a project update on how far are they with this BSD? It's something that I'm interested to try. NetBSD 11 will be released soon. Okay, nice. NetBSD, I think the only sort of complaint I have about it is that it's difficult to find the documentations about it. They are also not well connected in terms of, okay, from this page go to that page. So in terms of documentation, it's a bit limited. And I think also they have this assumption that the person who is reading this documentation, they have a very strong backgrounds about the BSD already. That's at least was my judgment reading their documentation. In OpenBSD is like, okay, this is this FAQ, you want to enable the audio recording, webcam, this and that. Okay, just check this flag, that flag. It's very straightforward to get it up and running. If the vibe coding in Linux kernel gets too out of hand, I'm definitely moving to the other, either FreeBSD or NetBSD. Let's see. I hope it doesn't. The thing is that from what I understood, a lot of people who are not in the big tech, or they don't have much interest in this kind of like working in these big companies, they are not so positive about this AI and vibe coding. I created a video, I think last week or a week before, last week, yes. And then I titled it, I created a Twitch CLI client. I vibe coded a Twitch CLI client. And honestly, I vibe code part of it. And it didn't go well. I think that video alone like end up 8 or 10 people to unsubscribe. So for me it was interesting experiment to see that, okay, it doesn't resonate at least with the audience of the channel. So I'm not gonna go create any vibe code title anymore. It was just interesting to see. And I think most of the people who are kind of serious about this operating system, they don't also like this whole concept of having AI coding things, because usually it gives you on some stuff that it has the knowledge base is fantastic, let's say. It can generate things. It can create you a website, blog, whatever, super fast, can generate some good code sometimes, most often than not so good. But if you try to wipe code anything low level, I think it's not gonna end up well. Four CDs, that's when yes. Wow, good times. This statement is very familiar for me. And I think I was here years ago too and saw it, so That's why I ask also, like, when are they going to move exactly? Do they have any roadmap? I'm not sure the state of the void Linux. I mean, this is the FreeBSD OpenBSD channel. We are now talking about Linux and searching Linux. So anyway, they're open source. Yes, I understand that. I think the people also subscribe for a different reason. They didn't subscribe for me to tell them, hey, I wipe coded something. But my main intention was to introduce the CLI app that I created, but yeah, it went sideways. As the last release. Oh, they got also 32 bits. The last release was over a year ago. T-Take. I haven't heard about him. Man, I'm learning that I'm way more uneducated than I thought. Okay, definitely is not this stuff, so. Is it a YouTube channel or? Let me, while we are at it, search for something and try do something maybe. This focus on. Okay, OpenBSD server. I'm trying to see how we can make the. Wait, let me search it here then. OpenBSD. Raspberry. OpenBSD, see whether anybody has any suggestions on optimizing this. I'm going to bookmark this, but I have to close the tab. Yes, they don't use the systemd. They are. Oh, okay, I encountered this channel. Okay, yes, I encountered. I remember from this dark background. Nice. Wow. Notex OpenBSD, Pero Network. I think his channel is a bit underrated. At least judging by the title. It's very network driven. Oh, interesting. Let me bookmark it. If the other one, okay. I should add it in the list of the channels to follow under my own stuff. I think now I have a couple of people, but yeah. Do we have any way to optimize this? Or I think I opened most of these pages before. Okay, the main Chimera dev is a former void dev, and a lot of void dev helps on. Nice. Yeah, I think also forking over forking and stuff is not the best approach. On some projects makes sense, on most doesn't. For example, if let's say we had fewer Linux distribution, right? And people were focusing more on not creating yet another Linux distribution, but focusing on the stability, on making things for a, let's say, for a user who is not familiar, who's not very technical, like a bulletproof for those users. From my perspective, it would have been nicer than creating, let's say, something completely new. Again, people, they have their own free time, they want to do whatever they want, so it's just like my opinion that maybe it's yeah, it would have been better. Oh, he passed away? And that sucks if that's true. Damn. Stefan's Mansion Room was a very interesting YouTube channel talking about the exotic architecture system, but it's no more or less inactive now. Okay, let me also, I'm going to type that also. I want to figure out whether here is a mention of optimization or no. Okay, there's nothing here. Work this. Apple Asahi Linux installer. Raspberry Pi 4. This just goes to the product page. I remember on top of my head there was something. Advanced configuration, limit RAM to 3 gigabytes. Huh? Okay, I think this is not the case for me. This probably was in the earlier iteration of Raspberry Pi that they shipped 32-bit OS with it. Or this Zenodium. Okay, if we enable Zenodium, then we should be able to use X session instead of Xinit RT. What else we can do? Yes, I will watch his videos. I think it's especially on the networking looks valuable. A more modern GCC on an old Sun microsystem, Sun OS. Wow. That's crazy. That's the type of content I like to watch also. Connected with the build scripts for maintaining this distro can be pretty smooth. I'm not sure if the packages they don't build, I think then resolving this build stuff could be problematic. That's my uneducated guess. Just judging based on the T2 Linux maintainer. He's like every day he's cursing, saying, "Oh, this one they broke this, that." Especially like maintaining something like Firefox or any browser for that matter, not Firefox only. Setting up a router. What? It's pretty comprehensive, but has a lot of use cases that not needed for my case. This is just connecting to the internet from what I see. Binding, PF configuration. Customer entries, blah blah blah. Oh nice, they put something like a Pi hole as well. Yes, he maintains for multiple architectures. Yes, for Itanium, RISC-V, and then he restores also the old deprecated, let's say, or removed drivers and so on. But I think also he builds the stuff, everything from scratch. You can kind of just get and build everything yourself. Baud rate was 11. Okay. OS, these are the pre-installation. Do you have anything post-installation? Post-installation, okay. Optional changes going to device manager, advanced. Okay, we don't have this limitation. Okay, the Wi-Fi is not in the question right now. That's it. And I assume this one does not need to have SMT enabled. It should be, that one should be specific for the x86. Let me check here. OpenBSD enable SMT. I just want to check it to see whether it's going to improve anything, but from what I know, it should be x86, not 4D. Enable SMT. Yeah, it's 4D. Literally suggesting my own video. The moment I drift away from the browser, the speed is becoming better. I think the issue is with the browser not being optimized, or the or is not using. Probably also we don't have GPU here, any GPU drivers, or the hardware acceleration. No, I want to enable it. Forgot the command. You're the only person making consistent open. I'm trying to be consistent. I am. Sometimes you see that I go away for 6 months because I just, life gets on the way, and then I can't just focus on creating anything. But if I have time, I really like to create it. No, where is this SMT? Okay, found this FAQ. Has been for various severe vulnerability, blah blah blah. We know about it. If it's absolutely renewable by removing -s flag. Block CPU. Intel hardware. Been involved this. I don't think ARM has SMT. Or that flag I don't think exists on ARM. Yeah, root BSD, it's not making OpenBSD videos anymore. I'm still also sub to his channel, and he was making very good progress and making very nice content. It's really, I don't know what to say. At least for me, it's sad that he's not making OpenBSD content. So I wish he could. I think there was also another person, I forgot, Zany. He also used to create some OpenBSD content, but his channel is a mix of stuff. Then at some point also, the last one I know, he was also doing some sort of stuff with the NixOS also. But yeah. Let's try to run this, see whether it's gonna work or not. So if now we have, no, it's not gonna work. I'm 100% sure that SMT equals to 1. Yeah, it was already 1. Okay, it's deprecated. Block CPU. That's new for me. They can re-enable by removing S from the block CPU CCTL. Block. What was it? Block. Changeable, yes. A series of characters: S, SMTP, P performance core, E efficiency core, R, L lethargic low power efficiency core, representing the CPU types to avoid a scheduled task into. Okay. So if we do CCTL, what is this? HW block CPU. Is it like this? It's L. So it avoids the low power efficiency core. Okay, so now we have just only L2 being in the block list. A series of characters, let me read it again. Representing CPU types to avoid. So it's not putting. Can I remove it? Everything? Like do this? Okay. And if I put P, it's gonna be slower, I assume. Oh boy, now we shut down all 3 CPUs. Okay, let me just put it back to experiments with what we have, E efficiency core. I think it was on the correct configuration already. Yeah, it should be on L. Yes, but the SMT apparently is deprecated. I think they deprecated maybe in the 7.9, because when I read the changelog, I saw something about the block CPU. Let me check the changelog again. Implement this. Yeah. Introduce a new mechanism to manage CPU cores with different speeds in the scheduler. Takes a sequence of 4 letters: SMTP, P for regular performance, E for efficient, generate this 80 to 50% as fast. Okay, which are even slower. Set these to the CPUs to kick out of the scheduling. SL by default currently works on AMD 64 and ARM 64. Is already on the correct setting. And yes, they needed a lot of things. The last one was about the NixOS stuff. Yes, I think then also at some point he bought the ThinkPad. Either was T440 or X440, and then did some modifications and installed OpenBSD on it, and then that's it. I think then he went again dark. Most low-level stuff on the RPI is usually configured by the boot config. Is there any guide for it that I can read about it? boot/config.txt. Do we have even? Nope. I think that's in the Raspberry Pi OS. No, it doesn't use the SMT. One type of cores, right? Is yes. I mean, we can technically put it in the low power if we shut down the performance cores. If we see here, for example, right now, you see we have the 4 cores running, right? I think then we can put it in the energy efficiency if we just shut down 3 cores. Then it's only running, you see, on a single core, so 3 of them are offline. And I'm not sure whether it's visible here, but the mouse is being laggy, and then even the update of the edge top is laggy. So L seems like the right but I think we don't have a hardware acceleration. I wanted to check something before going further. I want to try to play a YouTube video via terminal. And let me find this wrapper stuff I created a while ago. And then read the instruction and then do it. Okay, so we need these packages. So bash jq curl ytdlp fcf mpv ffmpeg set this. That's a lot of package fonts. Because the browser, it's the modern browser or any mainstream browser experience is really not good. It's super slow. On the Raspberry Pi OS also is not phenomenal, but here you can see now I close the tab and it takes a few seconds to load, to render the close. So let's try to see how's the why fonts U or SSHD. I'm not actually using SSHD. This is directly what you are seeing on the output is directly coming from the HDMI out. The font is needed for this YouTube script I create or I adapted from this project called YT-X. So I'm going to install that, or maybe even not. I can just, after installing YTDLP and MPV, I can just try to play a YouTube video and see how is the playback instead of like installing all these packages. LibreWolf, I'm not sure. Is it available, LibreWolf? There is this OpenBSD app. It's easy search. Pi browser cookie. Unless I typed it wrong, it does not exist. Qt browser, I'm sure exists. I can try that also. Let's at least leave this one to run and then Yeah, this is just for the cookie stuff. Yeah, it's super slow. It could be one of another area to look into. Could be maybe could be because that the operating system is using the micro SD card, and that one doesn't have a very fast read and write, so that's another performance penalty. I can technically find the SSD and try to boot it from that. Maybe it would be faster. The thing, however, is that it makes it maybe 10-20%, 10-20 max faster. It doesn't make it super fast or smooth. Because if you've seen when I open the HTOP while opening a page, it was super slow, so there is other issue. It's just not optimized. Yes, but I'm not sure if I don't think it would be like super fast if I switch even to SSD. Let me see whether I tried Firefox, it was not good also, it's the same. I think generally it's lacking either optimization or the GPU kind of drivers, the hardware acceleration. Let me search something. Yes, it should be faster. My kind of argument is that it won't make much of improvement in the browsing experience, especially if the content of a page is heavy. Okay, so apparently there is no GPU acceleration for the Raspberry Pi. That kind of explains the slowness of it when it comes to the browsing. So here it says is either absent or is very limited, and giving me the reference from the Reddit. So video acceleration supports that Linux browser can not available. Modern browsers. Okay, so also we should not have the compositing. Yeah, one of the suggestion is to use SSD also, but again it doesn't compensate for the lack of GPU acceleration, so it's okay, at least it's good for experimenting. Yes, Raspberry Pi 5, they made quite a lot of improvements. I think rightfully they added this NVMe port to it, but I'm not sure how expensive is it. Like they are getting unaffordable from having from like initially advertised as something affordable to play around, learn about the computers and so on. It's now making like, hey, it's costing an arm and a leg to buy a Raspberry Pi. Also, there is this supply chain shortage since dawn of time after Corona and so on. Either what I am seeing here is wrong. I mean, especially if you look into it, seeing it from the perspective that, okay, if you want to run OpenBSD, the best hardware architecture as of now is x86, not 8, x86. 886 was the CPU from Intel. Is it installed the packages? Okay. So all I have to do is to find a video and then try to play it. Did it close the tab? Yeah. Let's see how it's gonna work. And I'm going to also try to listen to the audio if it's working or not. If it ever plays. Oh no. How's the CPU going on? It's not playing even. Not even with MPV. Oh. Oh, the drop frames is crazy, but it's running. I think this is 2K, so I didn't hear any audio though. So let's see the error. It tries to open WAPI. Why? This legacy VO has bad performance. Consider fixing your graphic drivers or not forcing X11 VO. It's defaulting to that probably. Failed to initialize audio driver. No sound. Well, the no sound might be fixable if there is a firmware for it or if there is something, but the graphic card seems not so much. I have to Google about the sounding stuff. From what I know, should be out of the box already. No output font. Okay, we don't have sound either, at least on the first glance. So no GPU acceleration, also no sound. Let me try to go with the lower resolution. I don't remember the syntax for the MPV. I have to search for it. I should have written it somewhere in one of my dot files. It should be in the MPV configs or something. cd.config MPV. No? Config. check something. Okay, so we have to do this ytdl format equals to height 480p this and best height let's see how it's going to handle 480 if these formatting parameters work. Yeah, it still has quite a lot of drop frame. The playback is not smooth at all. You can see here the drop frame. Even now the terminal is kind of slow. We had 256 drop frame. Well, something to investigate. Maybe playing around with the parameters maybe works. I don't know. I have to check later on, but not for today. It's already too late for me. But it's good, at least managed to test a couple of things and see whether it can be used for the normal tasks. And seems not so much is not there yet, but as a headless is fine. At least if I type something or do something should be fine, so probably it would be good in the networking setup, not for the day-to-day stuff. Anything that requires a bit of graphic, it struggles at this point. But there's also not much of documentation out there to figure out whether it can be optimized or there is something to fix. So I have to do more research on it, and maybe I will do a live stream, but definitely I won't use it for any GUI stuff task. As you've seen, it's not even usable for a browser as of now. And let's just check the chat one last time and then close off this live stream. What Thank you so much. And it was nice actually chatting. I think that was more valuable than even doing anything. It was nice and I learned quite a lot. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a great rest of the day, great evening, great night, or good morning, and see you in the next live stream. Bye.